If they're waiting for this particular break, and I have a couple more records that's got the same breakup in it, I wonder how would it be if I put them all together. And I told them, I said, I'm going to try something new tonight. I'm going to call it a merry-go-round.
Herc's merry-go-round meant that instead of playing whole records, he would play just the instrumental breaks, mixing between them to create a continuous dance rhythm.
Let me ask you, because you said it's more than hip-hop than just the breakbeat music.
Hip-hop is not just the music,
Right.
It's the culture.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so when you say hip-hop, you know, yeah, it's hip-hop music, yes, but it's not hip-hop as a whole.
Right.
Okay, so because hip-hop involves the culture of it, you know, not only the dress, not only the language, not only the style of it, not only, you know, the politics of it.
Hip-hop is a culture, a way of life, a way of thinking.
Let me ask you, because you said it's more than hip-hop than just the breakbeat music. Did the breakbeats come first? Would you say the breakbeats is what made hip-hop? What would you say?
Well, I would say no. I would say that hip-hop started before the music.
Right.
Part of it, okay?
Right.
So we were more into how cool we could be,
Right.
You know, our togetherness,
Right.
you know, just like right now, you know, I'm here in front of this is my second building, 1085. I was in the first section first, and that was my room. See, on the fourth floor, that was my apartment right there, 4G. 4G was my apartment right there.
Okay.
And I used to take a rope tied to the furnace, to the radiator, and climb out onto this roof right there.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
the nursery, yeah, and cut out. So,
just as a side note, look, they got air conditioner things in each window.
Our windows had the little thing like that.
Right,
Man.
push it out.
Push it out like that, you know.
Right.
But one thing I noticed though about here, and I said this on another interview, is look. All right.
Used to be benches there.
Yeah, all of those were benches on that side, benches here, benches come around that way. This was closed off, and this was grass, so the kids could play it here. You know, but if you look at it, look at this whole section, where the kids gonna play?
Right.
You know, this was a playground. Every building basically had a playground.
Okay.
You know, for the kids. You know, they shared the playground with us here. You know, we had swings and slides and monkey bars and stuff. You know, so we shared over there. They shared the playground. You know, but everything, and then the benches were here so that you could watch the kids.
We had a culture.
Right.
And the culture looks exactly like what y'all call it hip hop.
So the breakbeat. So the breakbeats is not the end all of hip hop. The breakbeats is not what created hip hop.
Not at all. Not at all. The culture is what created hip hop.
Right.
Hip hop is a culture, a way of life, a way of thinking.
The culture is what created hip hop.
Right.
And so
the culture created.
So when we were doing the breakbeats, if it wasn't for the culture, we wouldn't be able to get on the set.
Because you had to be down, and they used to have this saying, if you're not down, get the fuck from behind the ropes.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
In other words, Mario was already coming outside, all right? So by him letting us put these breaks on his turntables and doing it, that's what became the music of hip hop.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it was bad enough when he would come out. People, just like how you hear the music now, people would come all over because the sound system was crazy. Another thing is too, yes, in the beginning of hip hop, Mario, no, not just one person had a set. It's like that now. Like I got a humongous Terradome set by myself now, but this is after years and years and years of collecting and getting stuff and doing it. And that's what my career is. I don't do nothing else but DJ. So back in the days, yeah, we had the piece of equipment. Somebody would buy speakers, somebody would buy the amps, somebody would buy one turntable, somebody would buy the other turntable. You know, this was in the project. This is the 70s. So it wasn't abundance of money like the way it is now. So that's why it was pieced together. But when it did get pieced together, bong, that's what the outcome was. That's what the sound system was. Anybody will tell you, anybody from back in the day say, yo, if Mario did a jam, you can hear Monroe, you can hear Westchester Avenue, you can hear you can hear it all over.
Just like a little kid hear the ice cream truck and he run to go find it.
Right.
When we come out in the morning, we listen. We listen for the music and we follow it. And we follow it right over here to Mario.
You can hear Westchester Avenue. You can hear you can hear it all over because in the park it echo. And that's just like when I just did this jam on Saturday. People would tell me, yo, man, I'm gonna watch Westchester Avenue. I hear it. People was over here. They heard it. You see what I'm saying? Because that's how we get down.
All right. So what about hip hop fashion? You, Green Eye, y'all always about hip hop fashion.
We was five. We had British Walkers. We had Playboys. We had Marshmallows. We had Rips. We had the Playboys. We had Hustlers. We had the Desert Boots. We had the AJ Lester motherfucking Quarterfield. We had the AJ Lester Mocknecks. We had the AJs. We had the AJs.
You hear them?
We had the.
And I was bringing hip hop, the style, the music, the charisma, the diamonds. That was me.
Bronx Tale Day, you know what it is. The Muppet joints on. I keep it 100. Nobody has these. Nobody has these. They don't exist.
You, Green Eye, y'all always about hip hop fashion. So I don't know if the people, if it carries over like it should, because I think a lot of people first impression of hip hop was Africa Bambaataa, Soul Sonic Force, Grandmaster Flash, and the Furious Five, and they was dressed like Bootsy Collins. They was dressed like Paula Funkadelic. Or people in the village, or whatever they was dressed like.
Because you gotta understand, that's later on.
And that's people's first impression of hip hop.
Yeah, and that's what you
right.
see.
But that wasn't what the children in the street was wearing.
Right, exactly.
Are you ready for this? We're ready for this. What we just can't miss.
We just can't miss.
What we just can't miss.
With a beat like this.
It's the joint. Rock the body, body, 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 rock the body, body. QOD, I'm at T.O.P. Get out, shock the world. You see.
Right, exactly. So in other words, Well, I'm gonna tell you why Bam did the cosmic stuff, because Bam at the time was into Parliament and was into, you know, stuff like that. But if you notice that's the time of like the second acid go round. You see what I'm saying? In the 60s, there was an acid go round, and then the later 70s, there was like an acid go round. Now, when I say acid, I mean like mescaline trips, mushroom trips, and stuff like that. The psychedelic trip. You know what I'm saying? So, being able to go to a different country and being able to get on these trips or whatever, that's what brought it on. That's one thing. Number two, when the other people got a hold and took advantage of us, that was one thing that made them feel like they were secure if they feminized us. Okay, so that homo, and I'm gonna just say it on the video, that homo thing went around. So I never did it. I never wore none of the boots, nothing. None of my crew never did none of that. Nothing. None of my crew never did none of that. You know what I'm saying? We've always been just like the way we are, you know, British walkers, and when we was DJing, you know, hustlers, ballys, stuff like that, you know. So we never got into that type of look. But if you look at it really now, it really looks gay. They had the tight leather pants on and a shirt cut here. Yeah. Come on, man, that's some gay shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so we wasn't into that shit. And so that's a lot of reason too why a lot of us, the originators, we kind of like let that just go, like ahead. You know, when the crack era came in, it was different. You know, it was different. We didn't get down like that. So that's why we're not etched in or whatever. And also, like I said on other things, you know, back when we were doing it, you know, we were totally protected. Just like my jam over there at Saturday. Who was there? Black Spades was mad there. And so another thing too I want to say is that I heard a comment about the Black Spades being old senior citizens and having diabetes and everything. Listen, the same way any group gets older, there's always the younger generation following right behind them. So we still got baby Spades now. We still got young Spades now. You see what I'm saying? So it's just growing up. But the elders, you always got to respect your elders. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be real with you, yo. Look at our elders. Look at Karate P. Karate P still do the same stuff he was doing back in the days. Yo, you know what I'm saying? I was just looking at my man Robert Jordan over there. Yo, he could still take his foot and put it straight up like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, don't get it twisted. Just because of age, don't think that you know, that it's not a problem. It's always gonna be a problem. If you was there when you were younger, you gonna be there when you're older. Age ain't nothing but a number.
So, you know, as far as going back to the fashion, you know, I've heard people say things like, and it could be true, I don't know, but they say like Run DMC is the one that brought the street fashion into hip hop.
No.
Well, I mean,
and like I said, Run DMC saw people doing that.
Whether playing ball or bobbing in the hall, or just writing my name and graffiti on the wall. Whether playing ball or bobbing in the hall, or just writing my name and graffiti on the wall. Writing my name and graffiti on the wall.
I'll tell you right now, because Phase 1 was a big name.
No, Phase 2.
I mean, Phase 2, my bad, was a big name in the industry. So
well, it wasn't even. It wasn't.
At that time.
It wasn't the industry. It was really what it was graffiti.
Yeah.
All right. So when Lonnie did,
That was his name, Lonnie?
Lonnie, yeah. Lonnie had a job downtown as a messenger. So when he was doing his stuff, he could make a flyer. And so that's another big part of hip-hop is when the flyers came out. See, before the flyers came out, we didn't have flyers. And that's where the whole controversy comes in. That's why people say 71. We were kids. We didn't have the flyers. So when people like Lonnie came out and Buddy Esquire came out, they were able to put these things on a flyer. And that's what happened. Just like
talking about that Spanish guy, the cop. Spanish dude, he's ex-cop.
Buddy Esquire?
I don't know what I forgot his name. He's Spanish dude. There's only one Spanish dude who take the pictures and flyers.
No, that's
Conzo.
He's a fireman. You talking about?
He's a cop. There's only one guy.
I forget.
Ain't his name Joe Conzo or something like that?
Joe Conzo.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but he was a firefighter. He wasn't a cop. He was a firefighter.
Oh, I thought he was a cop.
Yeah, and Joe Conzo, he used to take the pictures, but even that, he'll tell you straight up. That was after like 74.
That was later.
75.
I think that was like 77, 78, 79.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we was doing it, that's where the whole misconception comes in at. Because it's 71. Number one, the most important thing about 71 was you couldn't come into Bronxdale.
Everybody couldn't come to the Dale, but the Dale came to everybody.
If you wasn't from Bronxdale, you could not come into Bronxdale.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of stuff couldn't get out. Now, like I said on many interviews, people did come that had connections with Bronxdale. And so once they came in, because see, this was Black Spades territory, period. This was Black Spades territory. And so if you did come in, you would take that, whatever that you saw, and then go elsewhere with it.
Right.
The reason why, and I'm going to be straight up, the reason why it got to be 74 and stuff is because people were scared to actually come and get it from the real source. They was scared to, because it was like, so it was scared to come to the source. So that's why a lot of it stuff. That's number one. Number two, we were too young. That's just like everything happens in the, like today. People create something and then somebody takes it over.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Right.
People took it over, and the people that took it over were thinking about money. We were not thinking about money. We were thinking about having fun, getting girls, doing the, doing the
like culture.
Right. So, and that's what I was telling them. I said, so hip hop is not just the music; it's the culture. It's hip hop culture.
Right. Growing up, it was about the music. It was all about the culture.
It's about the culture.
We didn't even call it rap or MCing. We just called it
well,
fun in the summertime. It was about the music. It was all about the culture.
It's about the culture.
We didn't even call it rap or MCing. We just called it
well,
fun in the summertime.
Everybody has these stories about how it got hip hop. How I knew it to be hip hop is from my man Lenny Robinson. He's one of the reasons, God bless his soul, he's one of the reasons why hip hop got the way it is now. What he did was, and this is, I swear you can ask Douglas, you can ask all the real beat masters. When I was a kid, that's all I did was get records, and so that's how I learned how to play the drums. I get the records that had the breaks on it. So
Super Disco breaks and the
Super Disco, all of that came. I was getting those records and did it. So that's what Lenny did. Lenny used to buy me a record, and he would buy him 2 or 3 records. And then later on, by the time I went away or whatever, he put them on Ultimate Breakbeats.
Oh, Lenny has some.
Yeah, he's the one that did it. He's the founder. He's the founder of Ultimate Breakbeats. And he got even his daughter to tell you, she used to remember me going to his house right over there off of Buckner Boulevard. where Corvettes is, and I used to be bringing him the records and getting records and stuff and everything. So,
how did he clear them samples? A lot of them breakbeats are old.
well,
songs
back
and
in those
shit.
days,
You had
yeah, you had to do it, but it was easy. He was a jazz collector already from the jump, so he already had those connections. So when he did it,
with the ultimate break.
when he did it, that's why on the breaks you'll hear a lot of them have the scratch in it.
Popcorn.
A lot of them have popcorn. A lot of them have the loop on it and everything. That's because he was getting them from.
I never heard them with the loop. This was a straight up.
Nah,
the ultimate break
funky
beats?
drummer.
Oh yeah.
Loop. Super sperm loop.
No, that was
Telephone
a straight song. Though. It was no loop in that. You had to loop it yourself.
It was. If you have the original record by Sylvan Williams, right? It goes. Hello. Hey. Here, what you done last night? And that's it. On the break beat, it goes. Hello. Hey, that's what the loop is. Now tell me that's not exactly how it goes.
No, but almost all breakbeats are like that. They always gave you
but the original doesn't loop.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what the problem is. Like I keep on telling
I never knew that. Oh.
Yeah, so it's all the original records, like Mickey Mouse Club. Mickey Mouse Club was this small. If y'all know about breaks, you could hardly see the break on Mickey Mouse Club, right?
So you're saying the Peach Present, that was a loop?
Another loop from it was a loop. You know what I'm saying? Because the original on the Alga yellow record, see, I'm a beat master, so you can't. There's no breaks. I got a house full right now.
I had every break. I had the Octopussy joints. I had the Ultimate Break beats. I had all them shit. A lot of people that had the Octopussy, they came out with like the breakbeat era, but the Octopussy, they was the first.
You ever heard of Please?
Please?
Yeah.
What, that's a record coming?
Nah, that's the truth. Alright. You ever heard of Bob Billy?
Yeah.
Dylan, and Bob McLean?
I heard breakbeats? Yeah. I heard all the breakbeats. I used to go down to Music Factory, see that fat dude, Mr. Walt. Remember the Georgia?
Yeah, but all of those, see, and that's another thing. People don't really understand how those records got here. The first record, the first people that did breaks on the wall was Downstairs Records. They was the first ones to put on the wall. And the reason why they put it on the wall is because of Lenny and Benji. Benji used to say, yo, Faze, what should I get and put it? So I said, yo, give me the record and I'll show you what the break is. But there's a lot of records that I show, like the cream beat to this day. Nobody got it. The cream. I wish I would have played some joints for you, but anyway.
That was an Octopussy or the Ultimate Breakbeat, so it's just either one.
Nah, he didn't. Lenny didn't get to put cream on there because I didn't give it to him, and so he didn't get a chance to put a lot of stuff on there because I would not give it to him, you know, and because especially after that first value, and I knew he did it. There was another one before Ultimate Breakbeats and before Super Disco Breaks. There was
It was Octopussy. The Octopussy.
Yeah. No, the Octopussy was Ultimate Breakbeats. That's the ones that had the octopus on it.
Now, the Ultimate Breakbeats, they copied off that Octopussy. They copied off the Octopus Breakbeats. It was the Octopus and then there's the Octopus Breakbeats. I mean, there's the ultimate Breakbeats and the Octopussy.
The Ultimate Breakbeats was the ones that Lenny made. The Ultimate Breakbeats, right? That had an octopus on the first value.
Oh, the first value. Oh, okay.
Right.
Every value.
And then the next one had a B.Boy painting on it or something like that. But anyway, and then they said, one of them said UBB.
That's the one with Funky Penguin and all that?
Yeah. So all of those records, like I said, was coming from I'm gonna tell you now. I can tell you because it's not there no more. But Parkchester used to have a store. There was 2 stores in Parkchester. I used to get the records from. There was a store right here on what was it? I think it was Froze and Westchester. No. What's the where the post office is at?
Crowes, Gleason, and Metcalf.
Yeah, there was Metcalf, right? So the one right in between Metcalf and that's Crowes, right? Yeah, right across the street from Hills. There used to be a record store there.
Yeah? What year was this?
This is like 71, 72. The record store been there like since the 60s.
Patelli.
Yeah,
Patelli and Crowes.
Yeah. And so those spots, whatever, they had those records. The reason why they had those records is because stores like Corvettes or whatever wouldn't be able to buy the shipment. So they would be buying the shipment. And so we had Olympic. I bought Apache and Corvette.
Oh, yeah.
Both volumes. The Sing Sing Sing, which is a Return of the Bongo Band, and Apache is an incredible bongo band. I bought both of those in Corvettes.
Right. What year was this?
This was 70. I had it before everybody, so it was probably about like 74. 74.
I was before my time. I started DJing like in the mid-80s, early 80s, mid-80s.
Nah,
I used to go to Mr. Walt, what's that? Music Factory.
Yeah,
I think it took over after that because I used to go
Bondi's,
I used to go to that downstairs.
Yeah. Well, downstairs is the original breakbeat store.
Yeah, but after a while,
Harmony was in Parkchester.
Yeah.
That was everybody that really knew what records was would go into Harmony and pull something out of Harmony because Harmony.
What year was this, Harmony?
Harmony started. Well, I started collecting in Harmony at about 1970.
Oh, okay.
I was collecting in there. If you, he'll show you. There's a picture of me when I was 5 years old, holding a stack of James Brown records and all of that, all of those records.
Baby, I'm on a.
He'll show you. There's a picture of me when I was 5 years old, holding a stack of James Brown records and all of that, all of those records. So I've been collecting for like as long as I can remember. You see what I'm saying? So it's like this, and that's like what I was telling him. You know, people don't understand that the culture of hip hop is not that just the break beats or whatever. It was that whole time and era of getting people to have fun. Basically, that's all it was. Is people to have fun. So when it became a marketing scheme, that's when everything. Look at it. Look at what it brought to. If we had to just continue to having fun and wasn't thinking about it, it would be so much bigger, and so much better, so much. You know, people would use hip hop for people to come together. You see what I'm saying?